So, hi guys, welcome back to Diaspora Tales, where we actually talk about life between continents and different time zones. And this is your host here, Adaora, and my co host.
Uchenna.
All right, so welcome. And last we promised last time, we actually bring in this topic that I would say someone actually left a comment on that in the last video. This is something we've all experienced. They've seen it popping on social media. People like it's just the
Mm-hmm.
word that is flying up and down. And especially if you're in Nigeria, you might sense is a little different. Like, okay, why do people always say this? And today we're talking about something we call the black tax.
Yeah,
Yeah, da da
yeah,
da. Yes,
yeah. So
yes.
the black tax, man, if you're a Nigerian or if you're an African in diaspora, you probably know what we're talking about. You know, your family, your friends back home, not seeing you as a person anymore, but more like an
ATM.
ATM machine.
Yes, I feel like it is this unspoken subscription fee,
Mm-hmm.
that you didn't even know when you got into an agreement to it, but like definitely you need to be, dispensing cash. Yes.
Yeah, and also just before we dive into it, this by no means we're not trying to to tell you not to support your family
No,
or your
no.
friends back home when you can. This is just to tell you like, hey, do not do it at your own discomfort. Do not do it at don't ignore your own challenges, your own bills, your
Responsibilities,
responsibilities,
yes.
because a lot of people tend to do that. Sometimes they have families, yeah, they have their kids and their wife and their bills, and they try to play God, for
Yes.
people back home
Back
while they have
home.
their own responsibilities here. So
Yes.
this by no means is not us trying to tell you not to help anyone. No.
No. So for me, this is where I chime in. So I want you to picture this. You are a new immigrant in a new country,
Mm-hmm.
new job, new friends. Now, finally, in Nigeria, you pay rent once a year. But here, bills is like, like a clockwork. Like, you're literally, by the time you're paying your monthly fee, the next one comes in. There's no breathing space. It's not like where you pay, like some people pay in Nigeria 2 years, right? So you have two
Yeah.
years to breathe and 2 years to plan yourself, and and something could happen where you can just pay it off again, and you're good. But here the bills don't stop, right?
Yep.
You're barely trying to save enough to stay afloat, and then boom, the phone rings. Hey, Ushe one name, and they hype you. How far, KDJ? We've not heard from you. And being the fact that you are in this known country, this sounds so nice, especially if this is the first time you're experiencing this. Like, oh my god, they thought of me. You feel like, yes, someone can really see my pain and heal me. But guess what? They are really, when they say when an animal is trying to eat its prey, they're gauging you to see the temperature, to see everything. And the next thing, my mom is sick, and man, if I don't get $100, she's gonna die. And
Yes.
mind you,
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving you, that's why I say picture this. Mind
Mm-hmm.
you, this person doesn't know that you are one paycheck away from being homeless. $5, not even, I'm not saying $100, $5 away from not eating.
Yeah.
But they don't know that. Because guess what? Uchenna is in America, and you have to
Mm-hmm.
really pay off. So, like, for you, what do you think black tax will look like, and when can you even discover that? When can you remember to say put yourself first and not just, saying yes all the time?
Here's the thing. It always starts a few days before.
Yes.
Like out of the blues, you get a message on WhatsApp or Facebook,
Okay.
like, "Hey, how are you doing? It's been a while." Or something like, "Hey, you've forgotten about me. How is the new job? How is the family and stuff like that." They are not gonna bill you then.
Yes. They gauge you. That's why I said they gauge you.
Like, give it 2 days, 3 days
Sometimes
maximum.
some people are like very
Sometimes a
strategic.
week.
1 month.
Sometimes.
Sometimes a month.
So yeah, it comes like that, and then boom, you get that billing.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing: if you live in the West, right,
Yes.
you get your paycheck,
Yes.
taxes collected from it,
Mm-hmm.
right? When you go to the grocery store to buy stuff or buy gas,
Mm-hmm.
taxes collected from that money that's already taxed,
Taxed. Mm-hmm.
right? You gotta either pay your rent or you pay your mortgage. every month.
Every month.
You cannot owe on any of them. You most probably have credit card bills
Mm-hmm.
that you gotta pay, and if you don't, the interest keeps going
Piling
higher and
up.
higher.
Mm-hmm.
You most likely have car notes because here in the West, people don't buy stuff, cash. You finance stuff. So if you have a car, you're probably paying car note on that, and
Yes.
it could vary depending on the kind of car you have.
Yes.
And when you have car notes, it means you have to have the best of insurance plans,
Yes.
right? So you have comprehensive insurance. We could go anywhere from $300 to more than $500
You pay for
just for
internet.
insurance,
Like,
right? If your job doesn't provide health insurance for you, you're
Mhm.
paying health insurance out of
out
pocket,
of pocket. Yes.
right? You have your electricity bill,
Mhm.
let's just say utilities, right?
Utilities.
Electricity, water, trash, and all that stuff. And then your internet, you have your phone bills,
Yes.
right? You're doing all of this.
Yes.
At the end of expenses, you might be left with little or nothing
On
from your paycheck,
nothing. Yes.
right? Here's the thing. So many people when they come here,
Mm-hmm.
they tend not to think about the
About
rainy
it.
day, right? Because out here in the West, people can give you advice, people can give you food and drink and everything, but you hardly see someone who's willing to shell out money to help you if you're in need,
True.
right? So you have to prepare. Okay, what happens? What if I lose my job right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if something happens? Something can happen. What if there's an emergency? What if I get sick?
Or you get fired from your job.
Yeah,
Which
like,
happens all the
anything
time.
can happen, right? So
Yes.
who has your back when that
Here,
happens?
When that happens, not
right?
people, you can't call people back home. No.
Honestly, like you have to, like I said when I started, right? I did not say you shouldn't help friends and family back
Mhm.
home, but do not do it at the detriment of your own comfort,
Well-being, where
your
you are.
well-being and everything. So you don't end up, regretting what you're doing because hey, you gotta take care of business first. You gotta take care of home. Charity begins
At
at home.
home, true.
You gotta take care of your. This is your home now.
Now.
You are no more in the motherland. This is your home,
Home.
right? So I don't know about your experiences with black tax. Do you mind sharing some of yours?
Sure. I would say, first of all, because I know we're throwing it back and forth, I coined something where if you're just someone in Nigeria, you've not really bad, you still, look at your friends and family that they're not sending money. I really want you to see how it is on the other side of the wall, okay?
Mhm.
Black tax is that expectation when someone is expected to take care of the whole family just because they made it overseas. Yes, just because they made it overseas. Not
Yeah.
because they have a good job, not because they are multi-millionaire now. No.
He's in Obodoyibo
He's
now.
in Obodoyi, but it's just that expectations. And in that way, you guys don't love them anymore. I would say this so very well. At that point, the love you show to your friends, to your family in diaspora is
Mhm.
now transactional.
Mhm.
You're not calling to check up. You're only calling to gauge, are they doing good? Did they buy a new car? Meaning maybe there's new money. You're not calling to check up. You don't even know the depression they're going through. They are scared to talk to you now. Because guess what? You see them like a walking ATM, not someone with emotions, not someone going through life challenges as you are in Nigeria. Just because they're overseas doesn't make them a multimillionaire. So I just want to define that first of all, is the expectations. And guess what? Sometimes even when you are able to send it to them,
Mhm.
you have seen some people say, someone says, so you just, they change the exchange rate for them. So you just sent me 30 pounds.
Is that all you can send
Is that
me?
all you can send me? You know what 30 pounds is? So the black tax is that expectations you have for a family member that went overseas that now earns in a currency not naira.
So yeah,
That's what I would see it, or a different currency, pounds, dollars, euros, something. So
exactly. And this is not specific to immigrants alone, because I have seen so many Black American families who also experience that. The successful one is kind of punished for being successful.
mhm.
So they have this, like, the whole family kind of leeches onto you, and
Yes.
sometimes they drag you down with them.
With them,
Right?
yes.
I've seen it happen firsthand. I've seen it happen. Another mistake so many immigrants make is before you left the motherland as a guy, you probably had a girlfriend in Nigeria, right? So
Mm-hmm.
when you were dating, when you come over to the West and maybe you're not married, right? My brother, the best thing for you is to move on.
Yes,
Honestly, that is the best. I mean, it might sound harsh, but
it's the truth.
just move on, man. Because how long are you gonna sustain that relationship? Because you have to send funds,
Mm-hmm.
right? You have to keep sending funds. They're gonna have needs, and they might have someone else smashing their sugar walls back in the motherland. You know, so
You
you
said
might,
what did you call it? Sugar walls?
of course, they might have someone else smashing their
Like
sugar
I
walls
saw
back.
someone that said they were separated for 19 years, and someone commented, "Believe me,
I saw
those
that video. Yeah,
yeah."
the man
Someone
that came
said
back after 19 years
19
living abroad.
years.
Come
And
on, is
come
that still a
on,
marriage? Like 19 years
like,
away from your partner?
are you kidding me? We got needs.
Yeah, when you leave the motherland, you're in a
Yes,
foreign land now. Just that is your new home,
it is
right?
for
That is your
real.
new home. You gotta
Adjust.
find a community where you can fit in. Like it could be through church, it could be through like any community at all. Like right, just make new friends. Right,
Yes.
that is your life now. Forget about whatever you had in Nigeria, in relationship wise. Unless it's a marriage, if it's your wife, by all means, do not
Yes,
abandon her.
definitely. Yes.
Right, but if it's a
Even
girlfriend,
marriage, sometimes, believe me, I have we've
no.
seen it. No, let's be
Yeah,
real.
yeah, we've
We've
seen
seen
that,
it.
but I
Sometimes it's
mean,
good everybody
I don't
just
want
go
to be
their
an advocate for divorce or
divorce,
anything
me
like that.
neither. But I'm saying in the not so perfect world that we live in, you know it, you know it. We've seen people, not like okay, the random we're against divorce, where you see people leading different lives, though they're married on paper, but
Yep,
they are across two continents,
yep.
trying to maintain something that should just be held on to what beautiful memories they
I
had
think it's kind of hard when kids are involved. So
involved
if
too.
this couple have kids, the man might be here, he might be married to someone else, trying to, the whole immigration thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of
And still
hard.
sending money home.
Of course, they have to take care of the kids. That's why I say it's harder
And
when there's
sometimes they
kids
have two
involved.
families they're maintaining. They have a family here they're maintaining. They have a family in Nigeria they're maintaining.
That's what they
And
call
then
double wahala for dead body. Nigeria.
no, but for you though, the struggle is real,
Mhm.
but so is the love. I don't want anybody watching this to think, oh, they don't want to help people at home. No, but sometimes black taxes, when you don't consider your family just because they're abroad and just keep demanding, you've never asked, hey, you look thin, you look depressed, you look forgetful. Is everything okay? Are you praying? They don't
honestly,
see you as a person anymore.
honestly, even when you are giving, right? Matter of fact, when you start giving, you've made yourself a target because that person that gives is the person they target all the time. And just because you are giving doesn't mean that when you need their help back home for something, that they're gonna be honest with you, right? I have a friend. I have a soccer group where we play soccer
Okay.
every weekend. So this guy, he's from Cameroon. So he has his uncle who he sends money every month.
Okay.
So this guy got a piece of land and he
Okay.
wanted to build a little like plaza.
Okay.
So he asked for quotes and everything. So he was running it through his uncle. His uncle was like the middleman between the engineers and himself.
Yeah.
So unknown to him, his uncle was inflating the price. Like the engineers will write a quote,
Yes.
the uncle will go rewrite the quote,
And inflate it.
sometimes double it.
That's wickedness.
Right? So
And
this guy
greed.
didn't know. And he was still sending his uncle the monthly money that he sends him,
Sends
right?
him, yeah.
Hey, take care of your family, your kids, and your wife, and everything. And he was still sending that money while his uncle was still doubling
Doubling
quotations from
down.
engineers for the project he was doing.
Oh
And
my
this guy
God.
was working two jobs.
Oh my
This
God.
guy was here working two jobs, right? Just to make sure that project is completed.
What?
Right? He was living in a one-bedroom apartment here.
Okay.
So he is suffering himself, trying to make something back home. Right? The uncle who he sends money every month is still
No, but this is like where
ripping him off.
this is like where you just
Right?
want to
When
cry.
he found out, so I think he reached out to one of the something happened.
Okay.
Right? He had a question about the project and stuff. So he reached out to the engineer, like, they were talking about stuff and then talked about the money for something. That's when the engineer was
the
like,
truth came out.
no, that's not how much I quoted. He's like, no. Like the engineer was like, can you send me the quote your uncle sent you? He sent him the quote, and the engineer was like, that's not even my
No.
writing.
Oh my God.
So that's when he now started doing his investigation and found out that the uncle has been doing this from day one.
Inflating prices.
Even the land he bought, like the price of the land was inflated.
That is wickedness and greed at the point. Like,
So
how do you even come back from this? And this is actually being.
He cut him off. He cut his uncle off. He doesn't talk to him anymore, and it is crazy. So people were like, just because you give it doesn't mean.
And just because someone is family, this is another thing. If you ever someone in diaspora trying to do a project in Nigeria, I will use Nigeria because that's where we're from. This is something I have learned. Try not to involve family. Yes, it might be like, oh, why not? I will tell you. Only involve people you know that when they do wrong, you can arrest them.
Of course.
Yes, I said it. Involve people where they will say, oh, but it's your brother, but it's your uncle, but it's your. No. Involve people that are professionals, have a signed contract of what's to be delivered. So if they don't, you're either getting your money back or you would take legal means to get it back.
Of course.
Because when it involves family, you might be working double shifts here. At the end of the day, it's down the drain. Nobody cares. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I know back home things are hard. But there's a difference between something being hard and someone being unkind and wicked. Because this is criminal. That's very criminal. We're complaining of the government, but when we can help in our own little way for our family members, instead of even finding way on how to cut costs for them, you are inflating the price in this story you just told. And that is so heartbreaking because this person doesn't even have your well-being at heart. Like, all they want is to fill their own pocket, and not because you're not supporting them. From what you said, he's supporting him.
Yeah, according to him, he said he gives the uncle money every month.
That's what we're talking about, black tax. It's kind of like just someone paying you for what? Because you exist and your blood. Make this make sense. It doesn't even matter. Because are you telling me this guy might have kids that he could be putting this money into their retirement accounts or college funds, right? But he is giving a grown man
back home.
And he is giving a grown man that should have fought his way or even by his own. Because I still said everybody can still make it out. Let's be real.
Of course.
So, but I know, like I know anytime we talk of black tax, Nigerians tend to attack people not knowing where. No, I'm not saying if you can help, please do. But know when to help and when not, because sometimes helping makes you look like, you're the wicked person.
Like you have it all. Sometimes it also makes them think you have it all.
I would use an instance. I have a family member reach out to me. Well, it was funny. It's actually a sibling reaching out. And I remember just saying, hey, that was the time I was partly unemployed. Yeah. And explaining to them, hey, do you know, I am unemployed. I've been being supported by my partner. Like nothing is going on. I did not hear my siblings say, oh my God, how are you coping? The next thing was like, oh, so there's no money coming into this church pocket. And I'm like, there was no care. It was so insensitive that I sat back and be like, I just told you I was unemployed for almost half a year. You did not ask me how did you cope? How did you? They didn't care. That was an awakening for me. Forget the whole. So the only thing they even went ahead to send the bank account after you told them you weren't employed for 6 months. So in my head,
it's crazy. It's crazy. I know. So many of our community members, Diaspora Tales community, you guys have your stories about black tax, about your experiences with this whole situation. So we would like to hear from you. We want you to share your stories. It could be in the comment section. It could be on the email. Just share your story about black tax. Tell us how you've been surviving it. Like, what is your strategy to not get exploited? How do you say no in a way that pleases the Lord?
And not so disrespectful.
How do you say no and not, come out looking wicked or, like I said, we're not saying do not help. By all means, you can help, right? If your brother or your uncle has kids that wants to write WAEC or JAMB or something like that, they want to get into the university and you can help them pay for the exam, by all means you can.
So far not at your own detriment.
Yeah, because I remember back then growing up in secondary school, I had an uncle who every time I had a good result, he would reward me with cash. Right? You can do something like that. You can be like, hey, if you come first or second or third in school, hey, I give you so and so amount of money, right? You can do that for your nephews and nieces, right?
Yeah.
By all means you can, but hey, do not
You
get
can
exploited.
give back, but don't get exploited.
Don't get exploited, right? Do not do anything at the detriment of your own comfort wherever you live.
You're saying comfort. I'm saying well-being. Like, you know, in a way, like comfort is maybe you are really comfortable. I understand, but I mean like where you're basically striving, just eating I would say ramen noodles, but you have someone that is telling you to send money. Meanwhile, while they're talking to you, they're sitting in a beer parlor drinking beer and eating Nsewa and Nkwobi. Meanwhile, you've not seen a proper protein to eat. You're just surviving on ramen noodles. That's where we need to know. So I want you to take away something with this. When people talk of black tax, it is funny, but it is not. It's about knowing when you're exploited. It's about knowing when to draw that boundary. Hey, I don't have it, and don't second guess yourself, because you learn to put yourself first. Okay, because in this land you can easily be homeless. A lot of families say they've not heard from their family member for years. Sometimes they would have died in a cold somewhere because they're homeless, and you might not see them again. So always put yourself first. You know, understand people back home will be fine. Like if someone tell you, if you don't send the money, my mama go die.
They won't die without you, my brother. Like they won't die without you. That's the truth. You know, whether anybody likes to hear it or not, they won't die without you. You do it when you can.
When you can,
right? Do not go out of your. Some people take loans. You know, some people take loans, like payday loans. To send to family back home.
But let me put it this way before we go, because we're about to close out. Another thing I want to point out, thank God it came to me. I have actually met a lot of people that don't want to travel to Nigeria. And do you know why? They miss home, but they feel like they don't have enough money to share to everybody when they get home. They will say, it's not to book flight to and to eat. You know, everybody will be coming. Hey, where do I see the money to give them? Might they go home? Because you imagine if you
nobody has to know you're coming to Nigeria.
Even if they know you're here, but they can't see you. If they know, if they're coming, if they're changing, you get. In fact, if not chocolate for airport, you buy. Give them chocolate. Anything you can afford. Can we take away the shame of this not being enough? This entitlement they have that if you're coming home, you should come home with the word, else you're a failure. You are not a failure, my dear. If you've been in a Yankee for 6 months and you feel like, hey, I want to go home for 2 weeks and come back, is my vacation, my dear, go.
Of course.
By all means go. But are you even getting what I'm saying? A lot of people do not understand that. They will literally say, oh, I can't travel home. Hey, what will my uncle say? I need to give him $2,000. I need to give, by the time I need to save.
I saw a video. Sorry for cutting it. I saw a video on Instagram. The guy was pointing at a board and said, if you're still doing this, you're a mumu. And do you know what he wrote on the board?
No.
What will people say?
What will people say?
If you're living your life based off of what people will say, my brother, you still have a long way to go.
No. I am telling you,
long way to go.
Yeah. So this is what I would say. If you are that person that send money home with tears in your eyes, knowing that you don't know how you're gonna survive the next day, just because you want to fulfill people's needs. If you are that person that sends something home, not because you want to, but because of what will people say. If you are that immigrant that think, oh man, my mama say she need this or she need that, believe me, they will be fine. Your brothers will be fine. Because if you don't make it, they will not make it. So it's kind of like in an airplane. They say before you if it's about to crash, you put on your own mask first. Put on your own mask first. You put it on first before you help the next person. Because if you're still struggling to help them, they will drag you down.
Both of you will die.
You will die. So sometimes it's okay to be what they call the wickedness.
Be a little selfish. Sometimes.
Yes. It's not. Yeah. Be selfish. You know. Sometimes. Know when to say no. Know when to just tell mommy I love you, but I'm struggling. Know when to even tell people. In fact, people in Nigeria can send you money. In fact, I have told people I have accounts. Someone asked me, I say, me, I need money. If you can send me.
Not in this Tinubu regime.
No, people are they not traveling? People are traveling outside for vacation.
Crazy,
but people are still traveling. I don't care. Send me. You know, someone can send you 50K that you used to eat. You eat to eat lunch. 50,000 naira. You can use it for your lunch break. Yes, man. But they don't see that way. Learn to ask your friends in Yankee, what's your account in Niger? Let me send you money. It's not the other way around. So that's actually what this is all about. Like we said, if you are going through what we call the black tax, that unspoken subscription you signed up for just because you bad, please Send your stories. We want to share it, and we want to
Yep,
really
yep.
brainstorm and see how we can all really tackle this whole thing.
Yeah.
Because our families back home, not everybody is greedy, but some don't understand how it is in the West.
Some don't get it.
Yes, some don't get it except they're there. So this episode is about black tax, and I hope you took something out of it. I hope you learned something. I hope you learned to say no. Yes, we Nigerians we're trained to be obedient. We don't know
Yeah.
how to rebel. Everything, yes, mommy. Yeah. No, learn to say no. For your own good. So do you have anything
Oh
else you want to
yeah.
add?
In conclusion, I want to thank you all for your support. This community is growing. We are new, but man, the community is growing beyond our own expectations.
Yes.
So we say thank you for
Mhm.
everyone that has subscribed. If you've not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Just click on that link right there. Subscribe. We have an email link. You can send us an email. Send us your stories.
Yes.
Right.
So our email is Diaspora Tale.
Yeah.
Stories at diasporatale.com. Sorry
Yeah.
about that. It's stories at diasporatale.com. We'll be adding it on here. Please send in your story. If you someone that witnessed your siblings go through that, it doesn't have to be in person. Share your story. So remember again, please, stories at diasporatale.com. We want to see all your stories.
Yeah,
Yes.
we want your stories. We're gonna pick out one of the stories to read every other episode. So right now, we just want you to keep sharing, keep liking, keep commenting, and keep subscribing to this channel. We thank you. We'll see you all in a few weeks' time.
Sure.
Thank you so
Until
much.
next time, this is
Ciao.
Adaora and Uchenna.
Uchenna.
Yes, your favorite storyteller in the diaspora. So yes, so let's cry together, laugh together, and see you next time.
See you next time. Bye bye.